Welcome to Amigos live stream. We're going to play us a little bit of Walker. If you've just listened to the podcast or maybe listened to it yesterday, ran out of time, and so we're going to do this sucker here at the Aaron Estate. Walker is a interesting title, and I had a pretty good run this week at it, and so we're going to see if I can duplicate my efforts. Let me adjust this real quick and get everything lined up. I will be running this on my emulator. For those of you that are long-time listeners or viewers, you'll know that my Amiga has mouse problems, and on top of everything else, the only disc I had for this were in PAL. So we're going to play it on here. I'm going to adjust this size here, and we should be ready to rock and roll. Get this party started. And there we go. Alright, let's do it. So, Walker, of course, from DMA Design, and published by Psygnosis. Came out in February of '93. Let's do it to it here. Man, like I said on the show, there's something very fun about just slaughtering these little guys. I love this. Come here. These horse-drawn cannons. That always kills me. No pun intended. I always sort of dig that. Just the fact that you got horses in the same game as a large mech. This mech reminds me of if you've played Mech Warrior, it almost is like a Locust, as I recall, the two-legged special. I'm sure someone that's more than up on the Battletech universe could more closely match it, but the Locust was a lighter mech. Come here, you punks. There's always a couple guys that get out. Goodbye. You know, we didn't mention on the show, but I like the fact that the explosions, there's shrapnel and stuff falls out. The fact that when you kill these guys, they plummet to their deaths. I know Boat did not like the backgrounds in this, but I mean, yeah, they're not the best thing I've ever seen, but they do the job. They're very serviceable to me. Yeah, I love when you get them lined up. Very Lemmings-like as they sail down to their deaths. Okay, here. I've been learning to use the lock more than I did in the past, and it is a help. It's increased my distance that I get in the game. And so, I mean, it's almost a must, unless you're just a real good hand. I don't think so, boys. Go. This first level with me does not feel that difficult. The second level gets difficult towards the end usually, and then I've been having a heck of a time with the boss. I've never beaten that second boss. I started on him and he's just, I don't know what it is I'm doing wrong, but it's not happening whenever I try to do it. So c'est la vie. But let's see how we do this time around. Poor suckers. Goodbye. I guess at heart I'm a vile man, because I never cease to be amused at the crushing of these little scumbags. Okay. Boat did a video, a first look video just a while back, and so it's also something to check out. He seemed more positive about the game than he did when we reviewed it. I guess the more he played it, the less he liked it. But you know, I did enjoy it. DMA has a certain style about their games. I'm not saying they're the #1 gamesmiths of all time, because their games have flaws, and as we talked about, this one has quite a few flaws and room for improvement, and I would wager that this title was shoved out the door. In fact, I know it was before certain elements were implemented. Oh yes, die scumbags. There they go. It's fun. Gosh, it's fun to it's tough to rub your head while you're doing this. Real punks. those planes are tough to hit unless your timing is dead on. There we go. Doing pretty good here. Pretty good run going. Yeah. Alright, not too bad. Okay. Had to get the in-between level of soda. Now we're ready to kick some butt. Look at that beautiful animation. The fellow that did this, they said he admitted freely that this is the best animation he'd ever done. I believe his name was Dunlap. Ian Dunlap. Come here. He said it was the most complex pixel graphics he had ever made. He did a good job. I like to let these trains sort of mosey by, and that way you get to kill every car as opposed to someone being caught off screen. Good. Have a heaping helper of doom. Here we go. Oh, I got greedy. Can I get it? Yeah. It'd be cool. I think the train could have been implemented a little bit more. I mean, really, it just shows up a couple times in this level, and that's pretty much it. I'll tell you, these little guys in their grenades can really, I mean, when you get a big bunch of them together, they are very damaging. I like when they get in a big wad, begging to go. Okay. Thought I had one on me for a second there. Oh. Okay. Here comes the Zeppelin. Hate to shoot at Zeppelin, but what are you gonna do? These are basically troop transports. Goodbye. What do you think you're doing, pal? Here they come again with the cannons. I don't think so. Goodbye. I play this game kind of kooky. I switch hands a lot, back and forth with the mouse and the keyboard. I'm a mild form of ambidexterity. I'm not going to be out there, you know, doing surgery with both hands, but I like to swap around. And I've got, if you saw my setup here, which one of these days I should shoot it, but I've got the mouse and keyboard. The mouse is basically under the keyboard, so I can pretty much switch between either one at any time. Just lock them on and drive them and blow them up. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Every once in a while you'll have one of these guys they'll be just off screen, and it won't let you continue until you can coax these guys to come back on the screen. It only happens occasionally, but it's an irritant. I'm always afraid you're never going to get them back. Alright, tanks. These tanks are pretty wimpy. They can't throw their shells far enough to do any damage to you. Unless you run up on them. Goodbye. Oh, these things here, though. Those bombs can hurt you. You gotta be getting close. Come here. Yeah, so long. I had a pretty good run here. I think I got the Zeppelin, I believe. I think the Zeppelin could have been a lot more fun than they made it. It only occasionally just drops guys out, and then finally here it lowers down, and before you can hardly see it, you blow it up. You could have actually had a pretty good... That right there could have been a full-on boss battle. There goes the Zeppelin. That effect was cool, and they don't really come back to it. I mean, you could have used that effect and had a some sort of screen-clearing blast as a special weapon, and it would have been... You wouldn't have had to do any extra programming except for just putting in the weapon. I mean, that would have been a perfect effect for it. And here we go. Alright. You know, it's funny. I haven't played Menace for a long time. That was a DMA game, but it doesn't... I believe it goes left. It goes right to left too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I haven't played it for a long time. The main thing I remember about Menace is the part of Blood Money where it goes first. There was Menace. It's like, yes, there was. I wish they had more CB chatter in this too. You know, there's a lot of canned phrases, but they don't really put a whole lot of stuff in there. What are these stupid missiles? Here they come. Okay. Boy, I'm not in great shape with my shield, but I'm still in pretty good shape overall. So, let's see if we can take these suckers out. These missiles are kind of goofy. I guess these are V2 rockets, something like that. This game steers clear of any of the Nazi insignias or anything. So, and of course, you're dealing with time travel, so it could really be any sort of alternative universe. We don't have to even be dealing with Germans. We could be dealing with anybody. This thing here, you gotta wait till it goes up. Come on, you stupid thing. I'm playing on easy. On the regular levels, there'll be a couple of these. Go ahead. There it goes. That's the end of you, buddy. That's it, man. Alright. I didn't lose a man. Not bad. Well, hell, we'll play one more round. Here's your Terminator level. Hopefully LA won't look like that in a couple more years, but you never know. You never know in this country what's going to happen. And we're off. Okay. These things are annoying. They come on, they throw their fire, then they kind of back away, then they come back out. They lob their smart bombs. They always lob them over you, but they're smart bombs. So they can circle back, and then you blow them up. And I've never been able to blow one up before it leaves the screen, so I guess it's just the way it is. These helicopters are pretty much useless. You can just blow them away pretty simple. Okay. These goofy things. Okay. Mine dropping ships that fly in like the pilots had a few too many trips to the airport lounge. Now these things here, they will not do anything until they come across the street, and they'll circle back, turn around, and shoot these laser missiles. This thing here, Doombuggy, another weird one. I mean, what is going on there? He's shooting the guy. I mean, you have to blow the heck out of the guy to kill him. This level has just a lot of annoying enemies. I mean, stuff that you have to shoot multiple times, and it, like, I mean, what is going on with that? You know, weirdness. Come here, you little punks. Alright, so much for that. Oh, stop! Forgot about the stupid mines. That was a... Okay. Alright, let's see what we can do here. There's this thing again. None of this stuff's particularly damaging. I mean, on this level, the most damaging thing is the grappling guys. You know, if those things can get the hooks in you and then plant that bomb, they can really do some damage. I love that. Boat mentioned that the scale on this level was off. He's got a valid point. It is obviously off. You know, it's odd. I would wager that the backgrounds for this were Go down. Or maybe... Ah, son of a gun. Okay, let's see if I can get this sucker off me. Come here. Shoot him. Yeah. Satisfying. The backgrounds were probably made well before the game was... Before the walker was ready or something. You know, there was some kind of disconnection. Or maybe you could not... Maybe they couldn't keep the scale and have it look as cool. I mean, it is a dark game. I mean, I don't mean dark as in its subject matter is dark and grim, which is, I mean, it is, but it's just, it's dimly lit, especially this level, and that's the way it should be, man. You know, freak it. You're walking around in a killing machine, you know. All right, here we go. I'm stuck. I gotta wait for this Gary to get him. Oh, 2 of them. So, yeah. So we can't. We must have got him. Because you can't advance unless you get all those. Alright, these things, again, not an issue. Loop-de-loop, man. Sorry about that. Okay, again, here comes this guy. You can see the a lot of the naysayers in this game argue that it's too repetitive. You know, it is. Oh, it's base packs. Now that much said, like I said, for me, I enjoy it. But, and we talked about this pretty much in depth on the podcast. But man, this game is so neat. Such a unique, unusual game. I honestly, like I said, I've never really seen anything like it before or since. Now, I'm sure people could point out games that are just like it, but I honestly don't remember ever playing one like this. And it's gratifying. The control system on it's real fun and gratifying. God, get off from behind me. Jeez, I hate those things. But more diverse. I mean, I'd like to, you know, in the MechWarrior universe, the mechs can be installed with what are called jump jets. Now, I'm not saying make this a full-on mech game, although there is possibilities in that area for multiplayer that would have been a lot of fun. But I would not have been adverse to having a platform element in this to go along with it, because if you used, if you took out the lock and took that element out of the game, which you could dump, and then I hate when they get behind you, and then added a mouse button jump to it, you could really expand the playability of this game by adding obstacles and being able to avoid attacks by jumping, you know, and then limiting, much like the temperature gauge. You could have a jump jet. The jump jets have a gauge. There we go. That you know, jump jets also use heat. In fact, that could even add to your overall temperature. You know, the elements are there. You know, if you wanted to do it. Plus, this thing's got those big wide feet. Heck, it looks like it's ready to go jumping. You know. All right, we're gonna try to kill this guy here, or die trying. I don't know if I'm gonna play all these men, but we'll try to at least get to the end boss and see what we can do here. All right. These little punks do some damage. Okay. See, I mean, and they add a lot of cool elements. The grappling, they come down off planes, they parachute in, they have their hang gliders. You know, it's neat. It's very... There he is now. I mean, that's a great looking graphic right there, you know. But they're just a few more months, or maybe 6 months more development. I think you could have come up with a real winner. And as we talked about in the show, if anyone out there is a developer that listens, or someone that works on the indie scene, I mean, right here is some inspiration for you. This could easily, you could bring this right forward. I mean, you could probably make a way for this to work on a phone device. I mean, it seems like the elements could work. Like one thing you could do is have it almost like a rail shooter, and have the mech just walk forward continuously, and all you do is use your finger to control its head on the screen, and you could even make that an element. you know, which would be kind of a neat thing to do. But you know, also I I read that in the sequels to this, and there was a as we mentioned on the show, there was a Genesis version of this plan, Mega Drive. Come here, you idiot! Oh, double trouble! Here we go. And they scrapped, but then they had planned on making Walker 2 for the 3DS, which I find kind of wacky. I got a 3DS. I'd have bought the hell out of that. But it got scrapped as well. But one of the elements in the second one was going to be customizable mechs. Now that is an awesome idea. Again, going down the line of a Mech Warrior, which in Mech Warrior the mechs are customizable. You know, what if you could drop the guns and have you know, LRM missile packs? LRM is a very short-range missile. Or what about PPCs from MechWarrior, which are laser, you know, a laser sort of system, or a Gauss cannon, which is sort of a, I think, magnetically based like rounds, and it generates a lot of heat, but does a lot of damage. I mean, there are options you could use that stay within the realm of heat-seeking missiles. I mean, I'll give one machine gun and say one pack of missiles. You know, this stuff would be awesome. A customizable mech. I mean, again, you wouldn't have to go crazy, but you could put something together that would be pretty interesting, and it would give people the opportunity to have that bit of customization that they like. I think that would have been a big hit. Okay, man, my shield is in rough shape here. They don't really explain how your guy gets. I guess that's just part of the tech. That these things have shielding. I would have preferred that to be, again, in the Mech Warrior tradition of having armor, and then once the armor's gone, then they're actually shooting the core of your mech, which is what happens in Mech Warrior. And once your armor's breached, then you can, whenever you get shot, it can damage things like your ability to walk quickly or walk backwards, or maybe screw up one of your guns. That would have been cool. Another cool element, excuse me, is to make it so when you take these hits, it messes up your armaments, or makes your mech work slower, or makes your head move slower. You know, those are elements that could have been explored. You know, another thing they didn't do was power-ups. I think power-ups would have worked great in this game. You know, these guys up in the windows die. I had to shoot him a few extra times. You know, power-up elements, new weapons, temporary invulnerability. You know, or an airstrike. You know, you pick something up and then they bring in an airstrike to knock some of these guys out. You know, something like that would have been a really cool element to add to it. Or maybe something that, you know, extra heat sinks to give you the ability to shoot your gun quicker and not have to worry about it overheating for 10 seconds or whatever. That would have been a lot of fun. Of course, then we're going down to that road. Boy, this is not looking good. I mean, I'm almost out of gas. Stay away from me. Back. There you go. Eat it. We've got to be getting close. There's shouldn't be much more before we get to this boss, who will dispatch me with great haste. Here they come, you stupid guys. And trust me, when the bulldozer comes on the scene, it's hang gliders to beat the band. Dang. I guess I'm not as far into this. I thought that I already beat the first level of this. Go through your stick. Okay. place on me here. It's funny, I was looking over the ratings for this game, and no one thought it was great. A lot of people thought it was very good. You know, but I mean, it's funny, we read these ratings a lot, and there's usually someone that really, really hates a game, and there's usually at least one guy that really, really loves it. This game was pretty much, I'd say the reviewers sort of all agreed. I mean, it's a game that ranks somewhere in the between 80 and 89%. You know, I mean, that's the kind of game it was. And really, I think that's again, I'm not a reviewer, as I've mentioned many, many times, because the time I get to spend with these games, I wouldn't feel like that it's fair to review a game when I get to play it for like a week or two, you know. But I always like to give my impressions, and I think this game was a solid 8 out of 10, or maybe a 7. We've spoken about what it could be fixed, but I mean, the game you've got here is still pretty fun. They give you a pretty decent amount of gameplay, you know. You know, the 4 missions are there are plenty of enemies. I mean, that's funny. That's not really a problem. I mean, they give you a lot of diverse enemies. I think the plot's pretty interesting. So I'd say probably a 7 or 8 out of 10 is a pretty fair score on this. So I guess I'll agree with the reviewers after I was bad mouthing them. But I think for the most part, the Amiga reviewers were mostly fair. Like I said, there's a few magazines I would stick to before I would stick to other ones. Okay. Let's 10 of this sucker. No, dadgummit. Hate that. I like how those guys are animated. It's a very neat effect. Yeah. And please, if they ever remake this, more chatter. The chatter gets so old. It's so old, man. I read that they actually cut several levels from this in the interest of time, including one that they said, and I don't know what this means, but they said it was inspired by Prince of Persia. So, I mean, you've got your sort of Arabic level, but I guess they were going to go full on, you know, Baghdad, you know, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves style. Oh, here we go. Well, I make no promises, folks. Here we go. Lock on that explosion of fire. Ah! Why did I shoot the wheels? Man, that did a ton of damage. Okay, move back. Man, I was in good shape until I stupidly attacked the wrong part. You have to sort of do this in order, I think, and I never can get it right, man. And these little suckers can do some damage. I mean, it's just so many of them. They're just lobbing grenades left and right. Die. Oh! It's like, they're like gnats. Oh. I still should be in pretty good shape here. I'm not doing any damage to him. Keeps launching these things. It's like a freaking clown car. How the hell are you guys all in that thing? Well, folks, I think I'm going to call it right there. We gave it a whirl. I'll have to read up on him. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look, and we will see you on our next episode. Until then, keep it retro. Just kidding, that's Shana Monroe's gimmick. Ours is adios. We'll see you next time.